Anthony Joshua says he is going to whoop Andy Ruiz, and he says when he does, you need to bow to his feet. What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. Make sure you smash the like button. Also subscribe to the channel for the latest and greatest in boxing. If you want to become part of the gang notification gang, please hit the bell icon. Shout out to the super chats, channel donations, the Venmo donations, the Patreon family, Cash App. We working. Also sign up for ESPN Plus using my link below. It does definitely help the channel. And let's get right into it. Sky Sports has an exclusive interview with Anthony Joshua. I'm just going to paraphrase here, but Anthony Joshua says, Andy Ruiz, I'll whoop him. So he's back, talking the gangster talk, saying he's going to whoop Andy Ruiz. And he's saying he's supposed to be the guy, the best in the heavyweight division, the guy with the fastest hands. So when I, in fact, beat him, then you need to bow down to me. And he says it more than once. He says, bow down to my feet when I beat Andy Ruiz, because you guys are saying he's so good and I wasn't going to get credit for beating him anyway. So now, since you guys believe he's so good and he's the destroyer, like his nickname, the destroyer of worlds, he's basically saying bow down to his feet and you need to give all the credit and, and anoint him or whatever. So I have a lot to say about this. Let's begin. First of all, that sounds utterly ridiculous and very arrogant, this whole statement from Anthony Joshua. I mean, he's almost talking as if he's like King Louis the 13th or something, like bow before me, you infidels, you know what I'm saying? And really weird approach for somebody who is on the comeback trail and got knocked down 4 times, lost every single round to a 5-6 week underdog and late replacement. This whole attitude is kind of weird, a little bit bizarre in my estimation, that he would even act like, this. The other thing is, you got to understand and listen to what Joshua is saying. Joshua just said he was not going to get credit for beating Andy Ruiz. So now when he does beat him, since he's supposed to be the best, then bow down to his knees. But how can you say that and infer that you would not get credit for beating a man when in actuality you didn't beat the man? So how you know what would have happened in a make-believe scenario that didn't happen? How do you know the world wasn't going to give you credit for beating Andy Ruiz? Because I did the 7 reasons. I'm a voice in boxing. I did the 7 reasons, picked Andy Ruiz and said, man, you guys sleeping on Andy Ruiz. So I don't know where he's getting this. If Anthony Joshua, let's say in the 3rd round, he clipped when he dropped Andy Ruiz, in that same round, let's say Andy Ruiz didn't hit him and come back and do the temple shot and all that. Let's say that didn't exist and Joshua knocked him out in the 3rd round. I would absolutely give him credit, so I don't even know where he's getting this. And it's just a really pompous attitude from Joshua, that kind of like nose in the air. Eddie Hearn has that same like almost demeanor. He's telling the fans what would have happened in a situation that didn't happen. Beyond that, Joshua, I know he's deep in camp mode, but he's doing an exclusive interview. He looks like distraught and disheveled, and is not getting a haircut. He looks kind of aggravated, and sometimes these things come in camp. You might be isolated with a bunch of sweaty dudes and different things like that. So it's possible this is the reason he's just deep in camp mode. But I've seen Joshua in other camps and he didn't necessarily look like this. He didn't look like it looks like he has a chip on his shoulder. And, to be honest, Joshua is looking more and more like unstable and closer to Tyson Fury with the statements that he's making. And what I mean is, Tyson Fury says the mental health issues, that's what Joshua's like starting to look like he has like almost split personalities. He does a vlog on his YouTube channel, and it's like pure motivational and like, oh yeah, you can do it. Yeah, I will rise, the king will rise, you know, and it's just a whole different feel. And then I don't know if Sky Sports is egging him on or aggravating him and telling him to act a certain way, but then he gets on Sky Sports and he's like, oh, I'll whoop him. Andy Ruiz, he hit me with the lucky punch. Like, and it's just like super arrogant trash talk. And it's almost like Joshua, it makes it, for me, when you do this, like alpha male, from an alpha male, it doesn't sound believable because you're all over the place. I feel like a true alpha male and alpha male is going to say what he means and mean what he says. Like, just think of James Bond or anybody like that, Mike Lowry. Like, they're gonna make a decision and stand on that 10 toes down. Joshua, to me, he seems like he has a chip on his shoulder. He seems indecisive. He seems moody. He seems like 1 minute he's cool and trying to motivate and talk about, yeah, belts don't matter. But then before, it was all about the belts. So this inconsistent behavior is really off-putting, and it makes me question Joshua's mental health heading into the fight. Like, at this point, and I'm not saying this to be funny or to taunt or joke about mental health or anything like that, I would not be surprised if Joshua had an episode like Oliver McCall, you know, or a huge fall from grace and gets out of shape he's been in shape and muscular the whole time. I wouldn't be surprised if he loses in a devastating way, if all of a sudden he's not in the same shape and, you know, he has a real tough road, kind of like Kell Brook. How Kell Brook was a prominent welterweight, same kind of deal with Eddie Hearn, and then he took 2 back-to-back losses to Triple G and all guys and Errol Spence, and then after that he kind of just disappeared from the scene. You heard that he was like partying a lot and stuff, like just different things like that. I just feel like Joshua is really treading a dangerous water. He's on thin ice. His team doesn't have his best interest, in my opinion. His promoter doesn't have his best interest, because a guy who struggles with pressure from the gates before the last fight, and I told you, when Joshua lost, he looked relieved, like, man, finally, all right, at least I don't have all these belts and all these people demanding I fight Wilder and demanding this of me, and I have to go hard in the gym even when I don't feel like. He looked almost relieved, and now they put him into a high pressure situation, and I don't know if he's ready for that. And based on his demeanor and his inconsistent comments, I can't pick him. You know, I got to pick Andy Ruiz in the rematch. If Joshua wins, I'll give him credit, but I got to pick him. I got to pick Ruiz because, again, Joshua seems like he has a chip on his shoulder, like he struggles with the pressure even before this. He's made statements. Joshua almost sounds really confused, like he doesn't know what to believe in, like he's trying to hype himself up, he's trying to pump himself up, and that's just what I see here. You know, you're not getting one, and I understand people have different moods and stuff, but people aren't necessarily swinging all the way to the left and then all the way to the right either. You know, and that's kind of what we're getting with Joshua. 1 minute he's like in hibernation and quiet, no one hears from him. Then he does an interview and he's like, oh, I'm gonna whoop him, you know. And he's saying Andy Ruiz is the best heavyweight in the division. We don't know that, you know. It's almost like you have Deontay Wilder. We don't know Andy Ruiz is absolutely the best, because from what it sounds like, he doesn't believe that Ruiz is. You know, even though he's saying, oh, people are saying he's the best, bow down to me when I whoop him, you know. So to me, I just feel like Joshua's conflicted in his head, and he's gonna have to sort that out. But it makes it hard for me to pick a guy like Joshua when it sounds like he has some stuff to sort out in his own brain. You know, I've seen him do, like I said, interviews with Carl Frampton, and he says, if I go through another tough fight like the Klitschko fight, then I'm done with boxing. Like, who says that? He said, I told my coach if I go through another one of them, and he said that about the Klitschko fight. So now that you lost and you got dropped 4 times, you know, you have to go through it again. So it's too much inconsistency from Team Joshua. I noticed he didn't have Joey DeVecco back in his camp, you know, so there's rumors. Again, Joshua just doesn't seem like he dealt with the pressure great the first time when he was the champion. So now as the underdog, you know, is he going to enjoy and revel in this? And what if he gets tagged with a hard shot? How's he going to react? Like I said, I would not be surprised if he had like an Oliver McCall moment, or if he retires after this, if he loses, things like that, because it looks like the early stages of, like, you know, an episode or like a mental breakdown where, you know, it became too much, all became too much. Or if he quits again, or, you know what I'm saying? You never really know, you know, with a character like Joshua. And Joshua's doesn't seem like he deals well with pressure, yet he's doing things that are going to create more pressure for himself as well. Saying I'm going to whoop him and bow down to my feet like he's some ruler, like he's Thanos or something. You know, just really weird decision making from Joshua, as opposed to just getting destroyed in the first fight by a late replacement, coming back correct, and then shocking the world. You know, it seems like that's just, you know, the element of surprise would be more of the ticket. But just like Eddie Hearn, you hear that kind of arrogance. So it's going to be interesting. December 7th, Joshua has put even more pressure than was already the case. Let me know what you guys think. If you love what I'm doing, smash the like button as always. Hate, comment, and subscribe. Till next video is Ego, signing off.
So if you enjoyed this video and want more content like this on the channel, you can show your appreciation by going to the PayPal donate button or the YouTube support button, and you can donate any amount that you feel is equivalent to the value of this video. Much more to come. Thank you guys for your support. Boxing Ego, the future of boxing.